Hello there, I'm Blackbright News, as you know, and I haven't been on for a while. And today I decided to um, talk about driverless cars that could be considered racist. Well, actually, I was talking to somebody today and they mentioned it, and I'm like, I was cracking up. I thought it was so ridiculous. Anyway, I ended up researching it and looking on Google to see what that was about. And it's a bit like the facial recognition cameras that don't recognize darker skin and females and non binary. So, this is what the Tesla car, and I'm not quite sure if Google's Waymo car has the same, is in the same situation, but it's almost like they don't recognize dark skinned people. So if they're driving along and a black person is walking across the road, they're likely to run them over. This is what's being said. So I've written down some notes just so I don't miss anything, and I'm going to read from my notes. So please excuse me if I don't keep my eyes on the screen. So, driverless cars can be a hazard for black people. They may ignore black people like they ignore red lights. Apparently, some cars don't recognize the red lights. They don't recognize flashing lights. They don't recognize stationary vehicles. Um, AI technology is deeply flawed. Studies show that facial recognition is least reliable for people of color, women, and non-binary individuals. It actually automates discrimination because it is inaccurate, it may intensify racial and gender biases. Studies show how significant a small difference in shades are for decisions about safe paths, which is why zebra crossings are black and white. Well, one of the reasons. If the car is designed to see white people but not black people, like the facial recognition camera, black people could be run down by a driverless car. That is the notion. I was watching a Korean movie. It's called Unlock Your Boss. Came out in 2022, and it was one part of it had a driverless car, and to intimidate a female into giving up her company or whatever it was, um, a third party, intercepted the vehicle and made it speed and to to really frighten her, it made it speed and go in between cars and goodness knows what, and she was really terrified. So it made me wonder whether or not these cars can be intercepted, just like phones being hacked. Can they intercept? Because after all, it is a computer. Can they intercept these driverless cars, a third party, if they wanted to? You get jealous husbands trying to, to attach trackers on cars. Is there something they can do to the car so that to redirect it so it doesn't go where it's supposed to go? I'm just wondering. I have a Garmin sat nav, and it's one of those that it has a lifetime update facility. So, if there's an area where it used to be a road and now they've built flats, it will, once I've updated it, it will take me different routes. But for some sat navs that don't have the update facility, you could end up in a forest, you could end up all over the place. So I was wondering whether or not these driverless cars need updating. I mean, how do they know that the route is still the same as it was 2 or 3 years ago? So that was another thing I was wondering. So, about facial recognition cameras, researchers at the Georgia Institute of Technology found that the state of art detection systems, such as the sensors and cameras used in self driving cars, are better at detecting people with lighter skin tones. Similarly, facial recognition cameras do not recognize blacks and women. Elon Musk in 2021 admitted that Tesla's latest beta self driving software is not great. I don't know if it's been improved. Um, a flying penguin writer, there's an organization called the Flying Penguin. A writer from there says trucks have been so effective for assassinations, driverless cars or driverless trucks have been so effective for assassinations let alone domestic terrorism, and how driverless will make targeted deaths far more commonplace. That's a bit scary. It's almost saying that they they have the ability to use cars as a machine or as a weapon to target people and run them down. That's just what he's saying. I'm just thinking about how they can be intercepted, if that is true, to do what somebody else wants them to do, or they can be programmed to do something that the maker wants them to do, or if it gets in the wrong hands, somebody else can make them do if they've got the qualification to do that. And it made me think of Angie Stone for some reason, because somebody said, there were so many people who got away alive. Why did she die? And it was a truck, so it made me wonder. But I don't think that was a driverless truck. Nobody said anything anyway, so I'm not quite sure. Anyway, software piloting, remote piloting, who determines? That was just a thought I had. And then I've already told you about my sat nav. Driverless cars are governed by a plethora of sensors and cameras, but yet Waymo, which is Google's driverless car, crashed into telephone poles. Last year, Waymo recalled 700 of their cars, according to CNN. Some of Tesla's cars have crashed into ambulances because they have not been trained how to slow down near emergency vehicles, or stationary ones for that matter. The auto brake simply does not seem to work in these situations. And Waymo is the rebrand of Google's self-driving car project. The company builds its cars and its self-driving software as the world's most experienced driver. And according to their website, they stand head and shoulders above other self-driving companies because these other companies only offer driver assist technology, which still requires a human driver behind the wheel, and apparently theirs don't. So, what else is it? It's not the first time that a machine learning and vision systems have been shown to have an inbuilt bias. In January 2019, researchers at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology found that Amazon's facial recognition software, Recognition with a K, had a harder time identifying a person's gender if they were female or dark-skinned. Apparently, using these algorithms to train AI is extremely dangerous because they were specifically designed to depict white humans. And that's probably why when I try to use facial recognition on my phone, it doesn't work. Well, it works sometimes, occasionally, but it doesn't always work. Computer graphics researchers have not systematically investigated the shine and gloss that characterizes dark and black skin, or the characteristics of afro-textured hair. As a result, the physics of these visual phenomena are not encoded in the algorithms. And I'm going to give you the sources of where I've got all this information from at the end in the description. So driverless cars like ChatGPT, once fine-tuned, will put people out of business and people out of jobs. Xbox has laid off 9,000 employees, and an Xbox executive told workers that had been laid off to consult AI about their emotions. How can an object that has no emotional empathy give advice or console? Personally, I can imagine one of those bots, something with a bot-like voice, that automated voice, saying something like, "Oh, tomorrow is another day. Don't worry, be happy. Speak to a friend." Those kind of things. Be optimistic. Can you imagine a machine or AI robot or whatever it is it's telling you to go to, speaking to you in a monotone? No feeling, no emotion. How can it relate? Anyway, the executive says AI can provide emotional clarity and confidence. Can you imagine? Please go and speak to a colleague. Smile. Tomorrow is another day. I'm your friend. I am your AI friend. You can speak to me. Speak to it, all right, but is the responses going to be enough to take you out of that pit of despair? Anyway, facial recognition technology is everywhere. We use it to unlock our phones, prove our identity before boarding a plane, and send money from our virtual wallets to buy groceries. Because this technology is nearly unavoidable in today's world, it is logical to assume that it is rigorously monitored and regulated, but it's not. In fact, as this video has illustrated, the technology is deeply flawed and mostly unregulated. So the sources are independent.co.uk, their technical section. Like I said, flyingpenguin.com. We also have Los Angeles Times putting their bit in, and we've got the LA Times, their business section, giving their input. We have Waymo. We have familyhandman.com talking about Waymo. And we have Biased Technology, ACLU of Minnesota, giving their point of view. And yes, I think that's about it for now. So I hope you found this interesting. I know it's a long time since I've been on. You might see me more frequently since this doesn't make me look too gross. I've been using TikTok to do my videos because it allows you to use a filter and it makes me feel much more confident. So it's very difficult to see myself as myself doing these videos. But anyway, I'm giving it a try. Oh, incidentally, YouTube have taken down most of my videos. They've taken away all my money making rights. Apparently, because I put my TikTok videos on YouTube, you're not allowed to do that. So even though I tried to explain, they wouldn't have it. So there's nothing I can really do. So I'm not going to be uploading videos regularly. I mean, I've never been really paid anything much over the 6 or 7 years I've been doing it. I'm lucky if I get 200 quid, to be honest. Most of the times it's like, I think they have a limit of £75 that they give you, but a month. But yeah, I've never made anything from them anyway. So when I do it, I really do it to help people. And so I don't get anything out of it other than that. So anyway, let's see how this video goes, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye bye.